Yeah.
Dropping big facts, forbidden knowledge. Putting conscious on the map, forbidden knowledge. Always on the scene, forbidden knowledge. Took the pictures, those ain't memes, forbidden knowledge.
What you wanna learn? What you wanna learn? What you wanna learn? Tell me what you.
Hey everybody, Billy Carson here, Forbidden Knowledge. Today I have an amazing guest. Her name is Dawn Dixon, and she is a serial entrepreneur. She has been featured in many magazines, video blogs, articles, TV, and today she is my guest on Forbidden Knowledge TV. And we're going to be talking about an event that we are actually doing together, which is going to be March 27th from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to talk a little bit about, what she does, a little bit of her story, my story as well. I think it's going to be a great episode. Let me introduce her by reading her bio. It's kind of long, guys, so I actually have to read this, okay, because she's an amazing woman. Dawn Dixon is the CEO of Popcom, an automated retail company that uses facial recognition, AI, and blockchain technology to help retailers collect valuable customer insights. The first CRM data and analysis software provider for unattended retail, Popcom has developed technology to make kiosks and vending machines intelligent through data and analytics at the point of purchase. A serial entrepreneur with over 16 years of experience in marketing and business development, Dawn launched 4 successful cash flow positive companies since 2002. Her most recent ventures include Flat Out Heels, which are rollable flats for women that give you relief for painful heels, and Popcom, after identifying a need to make vending machines more intelligent. Dawn has received numerous awards and accolades for her business savvy and pitching skills, and has been invited to speak at numerous panels and workshops and featured in countless media outlets, including Forbes, Black Enterprise, Fortune, VentureBeat, Huffington Post, Essence Magazine, the Miami Herald, CNBC, and the Yahoo series, The Biz Fix with Marcus Lemonis, and MSNBC, Your Biz Elevator Pitch. As a recognized leader in entrepreneurship and digital marketing, Dawn is featured in the Who is Who, Black Columbus, and Who's Who in Atlanta, honored as one of the Legacy Miami's top 40 under 40 leaders in South Florida, and listed among the 50 young visionary women leaders to watch by Innovative Magazine. Dawn received her BA in journalism from Ohio State University. Additionally, Dawn was selected to participate in some of the nation's top accelerated programs for entrepreneurs, including the New ME in San Francisco, the Canopy in Boulder, and Techstars in Los Angeles, and is recognized as one of the nation's top entrepreneurs on the rise. Okay, guys, that was a mouthful, okay? She's obviously got her stuff together. She's a multi-millionaire on her way to becoming a billionaire. And we are going to host a phenomenal workshop together at the end of this month. And I want you to watch this episode and pick up some tidbits, because we're going to drop some knowledge in this episode. So I'll see you on the other side.
I started Popcom because I was in retail myself for many years, and I wanted to sell my products in vending machines. I realized that vending machines and kiosks did not have smart technology like I was used to through e-commerce. I looked around for a solution and I couldn't find one, so I decided to solve my own problem. My name is Dawn Dixon Apogane, and I'm the founder and CEO of Popcom.
So Dawn, welcome to Forbidden Knowledge TV.
Thanks, Billy. I'm really excited to be here. You know, I'm a huge fan and just love everything about what you have going on.
Thank you so much. Now, we are going to be doing a fantastic financial workshop together, March 27th.
Yes.
And a lot of people have been asking about, what the workshop is going to be about, what are the topics and things like that. So I decided, let's get you on the show.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. But first, I want to give them a little bit of insight into who you are. Can you take us back in time a little bit and show us where you started and how you got to where you are right now?
Definitely. So I guess I'll say I've been entrepreneur 20 years now. Mm-hmm. This is my 20th year.
Wow.
Started out right out of college, so at 20 years old. And always felt that pulling that I didn't belong in the corporate environment. I tried it, worked corporate for 8 months, but I always had that entrepreneurial feeling, and it wasn't popular like it is today. There wasn't a Shark Tank. As you know, entrepreneurs are really the outcasts, the outliers. And it wasn't, especially in the Black community where we were not able to go to college for years, or we were kept out of opportunities. Our parents were really instilling in us the value of college and getting a corporate job.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what they really wanted me. I'm a bright star, so go to corporate job, work till you're 65 and retire. But that didn't really resonate with me. And that's kind of my first experience with just like trusting yourself, even when it's like completely counter to what everyone else is saying, and even into what you're taught, but just following your own path. And that's my first time following my own path when I decided to start my own business and quit my corporate job after 8 months. And my family was just, they couldn't believe it. But I went to school for tech, and this was in 2000. So this is a time when AOL was sitting around instant messenger CDs, and we're using, you know, I had a this is maybe even before I had my Motorola two-way pager, but I'm just seeing how technology is changing industries. Yes, I'm just seeing it. So I'm seeing, you know, how I studied media in undergrad, and I'm seeing how the media industry now is news is going to be online. These are all these new things happening, and I just wanted to be a part of technology. I knew that I needed to understand this technology, World Wide Web, but I didn't know where it was going to lead me. But I'm so glad that I pursued that, because it gave me a lot of information that was typically not given to people in our community.
Correct.
You know, in my classes at DeVry, which grew up in Columbus, Ohio, I didn't hear about MITs and Harvard. It wasn't conversations to me.
Right.
It was like, go to Ohio State. And, you know, I always was encouraged to do things like in the arts or humanities or writing, or no one ever talked about tech. So when I decided to go into tech, it was definitely foreign to everyone around me, but that was my advantage, because now I had this skill set, and I'm a Black female in tech before I even understood what that meant. But it was something within me telling me, like, go look into tech. Again, following source. Like where I am today, 20 years later, the seed was there, and I didn't even understand where it was leading me. And so that's really the story of my journey. Went to school for tech. Started my own tech company, my first tech company in 2001 with a friend. It was a media platform for entertainment and events. We had video streaming before YouTube. We had music players online that my partner, young Black guy, 22 years old, hand coded. But we didn't have the mentors. We didn't know what we had, because there was no one telling us, hey, you guys are building a platform. You've built something that's worth millions of dollars.
No guidance.
We had no guidance. There was nothing on TV. There was no programs. I didn't even know I had a tech company.
Wow.
I didn't know that's what it was called. It was like I was a small business. And so I did that for 6 years, and really we stopped doing it, not because it was failed. It did really well, but we just didn't know how to monetize it completely. We didn't have the guidance, and we kind of got burnt out. We didn't know how to scale it. We didn't know how to grow it past us making a good income from ads, you know? And so then I just took that skill set and became a consultant for 6 years under my company, D1 Consulting. And I just worked with a lot of small, medium-sized businesses, helping them to get a digital footprint in marketing. And then I got into the business of just kind of, again, if we follow our journey and look back, you're like, I don't know why I was doing this, but it led me to where I am today and gave me all the tools that I needed to be who I am today. But at the time, it just really didn't make sense. And my family didn't understand. And it's funny, it was a funny joke. They would say, you know, what does Dawn do? My mom would say, she has a Tommy job, like on Martin.
Oh my goodness.
Like nobody knows what Dawn does, but she's living. But all the while, I'm just, as a consultant, working in tech, working digital marketing, doing events, working in nonprofit fundraising, just all these things. I went to school for fundraising. Again, thinking I was going to work in the nonprofit sector, learned everything about raising money, the psychology of raising money for one of the top programs for fundraising in the country, IUPUI, but still didn't understand, why am I now from tech to fundraising? What are you doing, God? Like, what am I doing? From journalism to marketing to tech to fundraising. All the while, I was studying Black history, African American studies, ancient history. My minor was in African American and African studies. So all the while, I'm studying these things too. And so it's like hand in hand. So long story short, started my company Flat Out of Heels, which is a consumer product, scaled that, which then led me to starting my tech company, Popcom. And our stories are very similar, just finding a need, a problem, and solving it, and a problem that we experience. So now, 20 years later, I started 5 companies, all of them cash flow positive, all of them as a result of my pain points. You know, and I've raised money in every way possible to raise money, with one exception of government grants.
Okay.
And I could say I got a government grant because we got the PPP loan. So
Right, exactly.
I
Yeah.
think I've covered every base
Yeah.
of fundraising along this 20-year journey. And
Wow,
yeah,
that is amazing.
all
Yeah.
the ups and downs, as you can imagine.
Right. I notice now if I put your name in Google, a lot of stuff pops up.
Yes.
So I saw you that you've been written up in Forbes magazine,
Yeah.
Black Enterprise. I mean, so many different magazines. How did the Forbes article? Could you just discover you were in Forbes? How did you get in there?
So the first time I was on Forbes online, it was after placing second in the SBA Innovate Her Challenge, a national pitch competition.
Wow.
Funded by the SBA. It was a big thing. And I came in second. And out of all thousands of submissions across the country, then I had to do a live pitch competition in DC. I was invited, to speak to Congress at the time in a private hearing. I was like a part of the women's SBA.
Wow.
This was during the Obama administration. So that got me in Forbes online the first time. And I've been featured in Forbes online. I think once you build a relationship with journalists, like I'm sure you have as well, they start to find interest in you and they follow you. And so I've been really just fortunate to have journalists who, freelancers, they write for multiple publications.
Yeah.
And so I've been in almost every publication that I've ever wanted to be in because the journalists follow my story for many years. So this was, probably 8 years ago, my first time.
Wow.
But then in March 2021 was a big milestone for me, being in the print version of Forbes as a part of the inaugural Forbes Next 1000. And they picked 4 people to be the face of this out of 1,000 people. And I was one of the 4 faces,
Incredible.
which was just a validation for all my hard work. And, I say cover will be next. So I've been in the digital Forbes 5 times, and then now they came out and did a video of my offices in Columbus and
Nice.
my vending machine. They shot that and featured. They really do believe in my vision for the future of retail. It was great validation for sure.
That is-
So the core product of Popcom is software, and our software makes vending machines and kiosks smarter. Our software empowers vending machines to collect customer information like email address, understand how many people walk by the machine, understand how people feel when they're shopping on the machine. So it's much more than just going up to a machine and something comes out, but now the retailer knows so much more information. When I first started the company, it was really focused on vending machines. The software side actually came from the suggestion of investors to create something more scalable. And so that really made me think deeper and say, okay, I know I want to do vending, but how can I really scale this? And it was through creating software. Once I got that locked in, the investors really took to it because they said, okay, we get this. Tech investors understand tech. And so we raised our first $1 million from venture capitalists, accredited angels, and tech stars.
That is really amazing.
You too been in Forbes as well.
I've been in Forbes. Yes, I've been in Forbes. I have been blessed to be in Forbes as well. But it's just like when you meet other people that have the same drive, the same energetic push, and come from zero to hero. It's still, to me, it's like really, it's like it's almost like a miracle because you're talking about a massive amount of people. And all of a sudden, it's just funnel, and it's only like a few that get their chance to shine in that light, So you really have to be special, and you really have to set yourself apart from a lot of people. So I feel honored just to be in the room with you because I feel like I'm in the room with another
It goes both ways. I'm telling you, I was a student before we met, and when you say that, it does make me realize it is a very small percentage of people that are able to achieve just what we have, even as far as notoriety or being known for what we do. But I'm looking at my circle, and it seems so common because so many of my friends are in Forbes and other publications and doing things. So it also is a testimony to just you attracting your tribe.
Exactly.
And when I first seen you, it was on History Channel. Who would have known we become friends and we're sitting across from each other, doing a workshop together. But I knew you were my tribe when I seen you. I'm like, this person resonates with me. So nothing's beyond your reach, right? Like if I wouldn't have had the confidence and say, wow, Billy Carson's way too big for him to even know little old me, I would have defeated myself before I even had the opportunity, so
that thing, that energetic connection would have been sliced right there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's beautiful to everyone you look up to on TV. I mean, people that I admire are my peers now. People that I've seen on TV or people that I read about. And I was on the cover of Black Enterprise. Growing up, that was
Yeah.
I mean, the big business people are on Black Enterprise, and then it was me, and I was like, wow, like my, Robert Smith and like people, Kathy Hughes, and people that I looked up to, Reginald Lewis, like wow, people that I looked up to, and I'm among those people.
I know.
That was mind blowing.
Amazing. And you even got Black Female Entrepreneur of the Year.
I did.
Yeah.
I did, and again, it was another just. Because I feel like I'm very grounded and I'm just working and I don't stop to really say, it's acknowledgement of my work, but I have to step back and say, wow, this is amazing. Yeah. They just notified me, oh, you're nominated. So someone nominated me and then I won. And I said, wow. And it was a cash prize.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a $15,000 cash prize.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Definitely amazing.
It's really powerful how, like you say, once you get to a certain level or a certain level of thinking or conscious thought, you really attract that circle. So when I look around myself right now, I've got 2 billionaires that I can call on the cell phone. One of them is I'm his mentor with spiritual and esoteric wisdom, and he's my mentor with finance.
It's amazing.
And so it's just really amazing that, and I look around, millionaires are all around me all the time now. And I think what we're putting together with this workshop is going to also attract more people that are going to be the cream that rise to the top.
Absolutely.
And it's just building on that circle and getting more people involved in this millionaire mindset.
It is.
And eventually even some of these people will become the billionaire mindset.
Exactly.
That's the process,
And it's the same mindset. It's just being able to grasp that something that large, because I remember even for me, when I first started flat out and I was raising money, I didn't think big enough because I'd never seen that type of money. No one that I knew was getting that type of money. So I first went to invest and I'm like, well, put together a budget. I need about $100,000.
Yeah.
And they're looking at me laughing like, $100,000? You're not going to do nothing with this.
No.
You'll be, the kind of businesses that we're used to funding, $100,000 is like one person salary. Like, how are you going to run this business?
Yeah.
So I didn't change my mind and say, wait a minute. $1 million is obtainable and realistic, and $1 billion is obtainable and realistic.
Absolutely.
And it's hard from changing my mindset too, of like I had to check myself about writing checks. One time I had a bill that was my first time I had a bill that was like $60,000. And I was like, wow, I gotta pay this out.
Yeah.
And then I said, Dawn, if you're not comfortable writing a $60,000 check, you're not gonna be comfortable writing a $60 million check to do big deals like that $50 million check Jay-Z wrote to get into title, to then turn around and get him to where he's at. He had to write the $50 million check first.
Yeah.
So if you're uncomfortable with these zeros, you're never gonna make it. And I just told myself, be comfortable with having abundance and seeing zeros and writing it out and bringing it in. It's mental.
It's so mental. Because like I tell people, when I mentor them, don't focus on analyzing your bank account every 5 seconds.
Right.
I mean, make sure your books are balanced, make sure you're being responsible and everything else. But there's some people who started getting a couple of dollars that I was talking with and mentoring, and they were checking like, oh, look, look, man, if you do that, what you're saying to the universe is, I'm afraid that abundance is going to stop. You're being too obsessive over what's in there now. It's almost as if you don't believe it's there.
Or seeing it and holding on to it. Like I can't let it go out. I'm scared to invest it and make more because you want to hold on to it. And that's a thing that we experience as a community because historically things have been stolen from us, or we haven't been able to obtain it.
Yeah.
When I first had $100,000 in the bank that was mine, I was like, oh my goodness, this is my money. But then I knew I couldn't sit on it or it would never grow. I had to get it out of my bank account. That's the worst place to have your money, is sitting in a savings account.
Because
actually,
when it's out in the street, then the money becomes employees.
Right.
Money has to work for you
at all times.
And I try to tell people, don't chase money. Chase your passion, and the money will do its job. And the job will bring back more money. And you'll be able to fulfill.
But that's what we have to show people, because we say these things and it's like normal to us. Don't chase money, it comes to you.
Right.
Or like there's sayings that we've been hearing, but we have to put actionable steps behind those things so they can understand. And that's what we're going to be doing in the workshop, is saying, okay, yes, don't chase money, but you should be taking some actions.
Exactly.
And these are the actions, but it's the energy behind the actions, not have the energy of lack or fear or, wanting to hold on to things. It's a whole different thing you have to put behind it. But that's in between like what we're doing and everybody else, because they'll tell us these quotes and affirmations.
But they don't give you the information.
They don't give you the actionable steps.
Which is why I like in my workshops, my biggest thing that I do is I give people what's going on behind the scenes.
Exactly.
I give them the step-by-step, but from even talking esoteric or metaphysics, I'm gonna show you the quantum mechanics or science behind it, why it's working. It's not magic.
Yes.
And just
But it
like
feels
raising
like
this money,
magic.
It feels like magic.
Feels like magic.
It feels like magic, but behind the scenes, there's a real scientific process going on.
It is.
And so even like what we're doing, I'm gonna step in and I'm gonna show the metaphysical side of things when we're dealing with things like the mindsets and the law of attraction and the manifestation aspect of things. And also, of course, I'm going to share a lot of my story as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to share it all today like you, we have something we have to say, but I started from very, very meager beginnings. I remember putting cardboard in my shoes to keep my feet from touching the street. And, you know, and having to, luckily I had a basketball coach who literally would feed me. But when we didn't have the food from the basketball coach, I would eat toast and Cairo syrup.
Wow.
And if my neighbors didn't bring anything over, it was tough, you know. And then the church would bring things to that. My dad's sister was a pastor of a church, so she would take donations in, and then she would bring some of that food just we had, you know, the big blocks of government cheese, bologna,
Definitely had that.
cans of Spam,
Definitely had that.
you know, all that stuff. So it's been a long journey, and you know, going in really realizing I need to step up my game and coming to some businesses at an early age, which we'll talk about in the workshop, and then really fine-tuning one of the companies called .com Marketing Group. At the very beginning of the .com era, the very, very beginning, I realized an opening was there. And this opening even cost me, partly kind of really cost me my initial relationship with my first son's mom, because she didn't have the vision.
Right.
She thought I was crazy, like the internet. What are you talking, .com? What are you talking about?
Everybody felt that way about me too.
This is 1998, you know? And things were getting taken out of the house, and things were, you know, going away and getting repossessed and taken away. And I said, this is it. I'm telling you, this thing is it. And I turned that into a multi-million-dollar company, which I eventually sold for $3 million to a company that had a reverse merger with the Amber Alert company. So
And that's a big exit
Yeah.
at the time too.
that was a big exit.
That's a big exit.
Yes, it was huge. And so I took a little time off,
Of course.
but I kept the money working,
Yeah.
which is what we're going to be teaching: keeping money working.
How to make the money work for you, not just
Yes.
saying it. And that's the thing. We see all these memes on Instagram and social media. Make the money work for you. Get an
Right.
LLC. Like I
Right.
think the other day that said, don't buy some Balenciaga shoes. Get an LLC and do this and then don't do that. Get a credit card. And
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
No.
It does not. You don't just get an LLC and then immediately get a credit card. Like there's several steps
Yeah.
in between, you know,
Yeah.
and I wish that people would teach this more. But then this is where the opportunity comes for
Right,
us
exactly.
to really show people
Yeah,
from those of us that have done it consistently for decades.
right.
Not like the new money. We just figured out how to flip something on the internet, which
Yeah.
I got a lot of respect for the new generation
Yeah.
that has these digital tools we did not have.
Yeah,
Period.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how long can you sustain this?
exactly.
We're talking about decades
Decades.
between us.
Yeah, for real, decades.
And the people that are mentoring you, decades
Yes.
of knowledge are passing down
Correct.
to you. And I'm blessed to be a steward of this information. And that's really all it is. It's like we get this information, we cannot hold on to it. That's not why
Right.
it was given to us. We
Exactly.
have to share it because it does not affect our success.
Right.
And once everyone understands this
I know.
and shares freely of
Yeah.
information, resources, tools, money,
Yeah.
it'll continue to flow. And I think that this is what our work is here.
Yeah, it
Is to
is.
help to raise this vibration, this money energy vibration, this abundance
Yeah.
vibration of our people so that
Yeah.
they understand
Yeah.
there's no lack of anything.
There's
There's
no
enough
lack.
of everything
There's more
for all
than
of
enough.
us.
There's
More than
more than
there's so
enough.
much we can't even consume it in our lifetime and in
Yes.
our children's lifetime.
But they've been programmed to think differently because there's a small amount of people hoarding all of that money.
Hoarding it.
But it's still available if you tap into it.
Definitely a lot of
It-
resources that are untapped.
It's just there. It's just laying out there waiting for you to grab them. And that's what we're going to teach these people. We're going to teach
can't
them
wait.
how to get access to this money.
Yes, and it's everywhere. And
Yeah.
it's in the most unlikely places or places you don't think it is. And everybody used to say to me, and again, I raised money for my first for flat out in 2011. And it's the time everybody's saying black women can't raise money.
Yeah,
You know, black people don't invest.
right.
You know, black businesses are just going to be small businesses. At this time, I found 7 black high net worth people, and they gave me $250,000.
Nice.
All black people,
Right.
people I went to school with, people in my network. And we have, continued to show that we have the resources in our community. However, some people will say, I'm not going to ask my friend because they probably don't have it. Like, we're making assumptions about other people's abilities to do things.
Yeah.
And when I raised money, when I went to school to raise money, they taught us from day one, the number one reason why you don't raise money is because you don't ask.
Wow.
The number one reason why you don't get anything that you want is because you don't ask.
Closed mouths don't get
A
fed.
lot of times it's just don't ask. You're making an assumption, well, they can't do it, or I don't know, or I'm not ready, or I'm not comfortable asking.
Yeah.
Just ask.
Just ask.
What's the worst that can happen?
All
They
do is
say no.
That's it.
That's the worst?
That's the word.
I'm not gonna die?
Yeah.
Might have a little feelings hurt,
Yeah.
but you get a yes in there, and it definitely makes up for the no's for
They have to
sure.
understand that the no's lead to the yes.
Always.
And that's the process.
Because you know what I do? They'll tell me no, and I say, can you tell me what it was that made you feel like this wasn't a good opportunity? Then I can either give you the information that I didn't share with you that would have made you say yes, or I can go out and make this opportunity more attractive.
Yes.
And that's what I do.
Right. Exactly.
It's an opportunity to learn.
Yes.
And if people think about it like that, it's not a loss, it's a lesson. You're not failing, you're moving forward. If they look at it like that, it's like, okay, now I have a chance to get better.
Exactly.
Not like, oh, they're shooting me down and I knew I shouldn't be asking for money. I knew it wasn't a good idea. I was like, oh, I can make this better. Okay, let me make it to the point where you can't refuse, because I have all bases covered.
Yeah.
And when I finally got it down to fixing all the reasons why they said no, and some people are going to just not like it, and that's not them. But the ones that are like, if this just had tweaked a little bit.
Yeah.
Once I tapped into that, money machine.
Wow. Open right up.
Money machine.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
It's been amazing.
Beautiful. I mean, I'm going through the process that you use for Popcom right now for Forbidden Knowledge TV. And I already see the process is in moving in the right direction. And I feel like with a lot of the changes that have happened, this first round will be the $5 million round. And I'm looking forward to the next round of 50 million.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to take to really take this platform. I mean, look at Netflix, look at Gaia, look at Hulu and all these Roku, that's what it takes.
That's what it takes.
That's what it takes.
Yeah, that's literally what it takes.
It's what it takes and more, and I love it because of the content. There's nothing like that out there. That's why immediately I canceled my Gaia.
Yeah.
And I was one of the early subscribers.
Yes,
and I'm not going to stop my subscription. We're always on there, and I love seeing how it grows. So the amazing thing is it's built from the community. The content is from people who are actually in the community, and then the community is going to be able to invest.
Exactly.
So we're given another layer, which we also will teach about crowdfunding and how to tap into your community to raise money for equity, raise money to pre-sell products, raise money to fund films. The only thing that I'm not deeply, I did go to school for it, but I haven't been in the nonprofit world for a long time. But I do have a lot of knowledge about the surface, the beginning of, and I will touch on that because a lot of people do want to know at least how to identify your constituents, how to build a constituency model.
Right.
And that skill that I learned in my nonprofit fundraising courses about building a constituency chart, it helped me in raising money for my startups. Because it helps you determine, it's really, everything comes down to like a methodology. How to determine who to ask for what amount, when, and then how many people you need at each level. So I will teach that too. And it's just, it's a great foundation just to build a community in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to have worksheets and information that they'll be able to save and actually utilize at home.
Yes, a PDF workbook. We'll combine, the content that we share, and I like to give them things to write down and work through. Answer questions just to get them by the time they finish the workbook, they have what they can turn into a business plan. They have what they can turn into a model. Because a lot of times they'll come to me and say, I don't know what to start. Can somebody write my business plan for me? And I say, you should never pay anybody to write your business plan. You must write your business plan. You can pay someone to clean it up, to edit it, to copyright, to make it flow, but you must write your business plan. And so this workbook is giving you all the information or having you, asking you the questions for you to write down the information that you need for a business plan. So then you could take this and either type it out yourself or have someone else do it. And this is going to be like half the battle really for new businesses, figuring out how to document and what information they need to be looking for.
Exactly. And it's also great for existing businesses
Absolutely.
that want to raise capital. A lot of
Wanna raise
existing
capital.
small businesses don't even have a business plan.
They don't have a business plan. They don't have a due diligence data room, which I'll teach about what that is. And I didn't know what it was. Like I said, I've been in business 20 years. It wasn't until 10 years ago that I even understood these things. I went to the Black Enterprise Entrepreneur Conference, and I had never heard of venture capital.
Wow.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of 8 years ago, probably. It was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I never heard of fundraising. I not like this. I got my money from friends and family. You know, my dad gave me money.
Right.
But there's a system called venture capital,
Yeah.
and I learned it from two Black guys. They had early pioneers. Mark Mathis, he has since passed away, but early, you know, Tim Reese, early Black, you know, angel investors trying to create a Black fund. It was so early.
Wow.
It was, you know, the people that have pioneered the work, that people have put the work in to get to where we are today. A lot of them are unknown.
Okay.
A lot of them you don't hear about.
Yeah.
But that's when I learned about it. And another man, Bill Cunningham, I learned about crowdfunding in 2012 before the law was even passed. And again, I'll look back at my life and say, wow, I was in that right place at the right time to plant that seed and hear this information for me to turn around and be a pioneer in equity crowdfunding.
Yeah.
But you never know why you're put in certain rooms and why you have certain information until the time comes to activate that. And I feel like for us, we have so much information that we're going to give so many people that piece that they need.
Yeah.
We're going to be used by, you know, the universe to deliver information to people that they don't even know they need, because they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
But it's going to be that one information to be like, oh my God, that was what it was for me. I was like sitting in the audience of the conference like, oh my God.
Yeah. I've been there before.
My life just changed because I knew this information, and now I can tap into this.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. I'm so excited, like, you know.
Me too.
I can't wait for the 27th of this month so we can really unleash this wealth of knowledge on the people.
We got 5 hours. We have 5 hours. It's going to go by quick because we have a lot of information and techniques to share.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're going to get their money's worth.
They are
Definitely.
going to get more than their money's
More
worth.
than their money's worth,
Because
for sure.
the big time gurus will charge them $3,000-$4,000 to access a
Absolutely.
workshop like this.
Absolutely.
And they got to pay for their own airfare, their own Uber
Absolutely.
and car, and their own food for the whole.
And that was my challenge before. Prior to COVID, really, when everything was in person, there was many even conferences and workshops that you did. And like Contact in the Desert. And I wanted to be there, and I could not get there. I'm so glad it's on Forbidden Knowledge TV now, because I definitely watched it.
There you go.
But, you know, you have to get there and get a hotel and get a flight and then get into these rooms, and it's expensive. And a lot of us, you're a leader in these rooms. There are not a lot of us in there. People that look like us.
Not a lot.
That access to the information. So for me, the $199 is to let people just make an investment in yourself. Just to know, like, you're committed, you care enough, you're going to show up, but we're giving you the game. I mean,
literally.
We're giving you the game. This is an investment you're making in yourself that's so small.
Yeah, very small.
Because the value is thousands and thousands and years. I mean, years of study that we're going to condense into something that you can take away.
Right, exactly.
And then there'll be a replay.
They're going to bypass all of our mistakes.
Oh, man.
All the stuff that we missed, that we learned later.
Yes.
You know? And so they're getting the benefit of all of our years of experience combined. And, you know, I've been at a high level for a very long time. I've sustained for, like you said, decades.
Yes.
You know.
Even in 2 recessions, ups and downs, a pandemic. I mean, I raised $2 million during the pandemic. You know, my business grew 1,000% during a pandemic. So it's just like, how do you tap into that mindset to say, I don't care what's going on in this 3D reality. I'm about to continue my abundance path.
It's not going to stop me.
No, it's not going to stop me.
In 2020 than I ever made in my entire life.
Me too. That I ever made in my entire life.
So, guys.
And it continued on. 2021 is like, oh, keep it coming.
It's coming. It's boom.
I mean, I literally get a phone call for money every day to the point it's like, is this my life?
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm still me, like we talked about before. I'm still me. But all of a sudden, everything I've been working for is just the floodgates have opened.
Yeah. Once the abundance flows hard and heavy, and once you've tapped into that flow, you can't stop it.
Flow state is a real thing.
It's a real,
and it takes a minute to tap in once you trust the process.
You have to really trust the process.
Once you trust the process and know you deserve it. And know you deserve it, and know it's your birthright, and don't be scared of it, and don't think it's too good to be true. Just be like, hey, I'm here for this.
Exactly.
It took me a minute to accept, like, oh, okay, I'm wealthy.
Right. Exactly.
I can do this.
It's here. It's here.
Yeah.
I had that first aha moment This was back in, I would say, 2001, when I really realized I was wealthy.
Wow.
So back then you can write checks at the department stores. And I was in a department store and I had to write a check for what I was buying. I was buying my kids some school clothes. And the lady said, I need to call this check in. So she puts the speakerphone on and she calls in the check, and the thing, it tells you right away. The first thing it does is, I think it was Nations Bank or some old bank that went out of business. But it says your balance amount right away. And everybody's standing in line. I'm like, this is kind of embarrassing.
Wow.
But I had a lot of money in the account, so I didn't care. But I was like, damn, this is going to tell my whole business to the public. But it was like, your account balance is $889,000, and everybody in line like, whoa.
This black man, like.
Yeah. And so I realized, like, wow, I'm wealthy. That's when I really realized it. Like, I got almost $1 million in the bank. Yeah, I'm kind of wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's when it finally really hit me. It hadn't hit me until that point.
Because you're just going.
Yeah,
I had a friend of mine, very close friend, say to me 2 weeks ago, I had $1 million month.
Yeah. Boom.
But I didn't even know because I'm just working and I'm just doing my thing. She said, I logged into my dashboard and it said 1.3 million. And she said, I just took 2 days off. Because, you work for those days and then it happens and you're like, oh my God, I did it.
Yeah.
It was a goal.
Yes.
$1 million month.
I love it.
That's amazing. These are my friends. Just, this time last year, everybody's trying to figure out what we're going to do with our lives because the pandemic hit, how we're going to stay in business. And all of us have turned these into, multi-millions.
Right. Absolutely. You just have to know how to play in the matrix.
Definitely.
And that's what I love teaching people. How to dip your toe in that water, because you got to know how to get, every now and then you got to get wet.
You have to.
And you can pull back, but you got to know how, when you're in that matrix, how to maneuver.
You have
how to bend it to your will.
Yes.
That's what it's really all about.
It is. It's fascinating. It is. I'm so glad that I know it now, but I love that I'm teaching it even to my teen daughter. Like, imagine if I would have had this information back when I was a teen in my 20s. I could have accelerated my path. Now, my path is for me, and I don't have any regrets.
Right.
But I'm just grateful that I know it now. Like, some people make it through their whole life and never even know, like, they're literally asleep.
Yeah.
They're in the pod.
Yeah.
And just going through this. So that's why it's just so important, anyone that's even hearing this right now, to share this with everyone that they can, because it's really life-changing, legacy, generational changing, community changing, world changing information.
That's why you see here, and I'll have Thomas show this, legacy. This is the main reason why I'm doing this. I'm legacy building right now.
Exactly.
Literally. It's all about legacy building. I'm not planning on what's going to happen with a paycheck on Friday and what I'm going to do and what I'm going to buy. And I'm not planning on the vacation for the next 6 months from now. I'm planning on 2, 3, 4 generations down the road, 5 generations. That's what I'm planning for now.
I want to build a city.
Yeah.
So that's,
Beautiful.
That's one of my goals, to put together a city. And I'm very inspired, and I feel like we have a community that can start putting up our own cities around the world. Yeah. It's very possible.
And there's plenty of land. There's
plenty.
Abundance.
They try to act like it's not. It's so much.
There's an absolute, I've been on, like you, I'm a world traveler. There's an abundance of land.
Abundance.
Yeah, everywhere.
And resources. And so once we just tap into who we are, our the power of our minds, but also that we can grow our own food, create our own communities, harness energy.
Yeah.
We can do everything.
Everything.
So I feel like even the people that are going to join our workshop are going to be like the beginning of our tribe that we're putting together to really grow wealth around the world together and make real change. I have the vision. I see it.
Right.
The vision became very clear to me a couple years ago, that what my purpose was. Yeah. And everything has just been unfolding at that point.
Nice.
And I cannot wait to share this information.
All right, it's going to be amazing, guys. So listen. Now I'll turn to the camera. Don't forget, March 27th, 2021, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. That's for myself and Dawn. We're going to teach you the secrets of how to raise millions of dollars for your business. We're going to teach you the $1 million mindset and the $1 billion mindset. And we're going to teach you how to manifest your reality and take yourself and your future generations to the next level. Okay? So
absolutely.
Click the Eventbrite link and sign up today. It's underneath this video. Wherever you see this video appear, click that link and sign up today.
We'll see you there.
All right.
Dropping big facts, forbidden knowledge, putting conscious on the map.